somewhere. Okay. How did that start? Who started that?
Yeah. So he's the one that controls.
You're my boy, Ritz. Okay. So in terms of when you're doing the pre-qualification, will they murder me? You should take care of right away. The others should be, are you going to murder? I have actually once, but obviously it was just my buddy and he said yes. And I sold him a house. So it's, you know, yes or no, whatever, I'll work with it. Yeah, life finds a way. But between the initial contact with them and the consultation, you should get all of these things done. The initial contact, and I think you said this, but like the initial contact, all your objective is get the appointment and find out if they'll murder you. Those are the two. So when you get the contact, your objective is get the appointment. And when you get the appointment, the objective becomes a little murky. I'd argue it's different with buyers and sellers. But between these two, you want to do the pre-qualifying questions. PQQ, yeah, nobody calls them that. So I'm doing my PQQ, no one will know what you're talking about, including me or anyone else in this class. We're all going to collectively forget that abbreviation in the next hour. This is okay. Different agents have different doctrines on this. But the ones I agree with are with the seller, you get the listing signed at the appointment unless there's a very compelling reason not to. That is what I preach. It is not what I do. But here's what I found with sellers. Let's. Yeah, sorry, did I say something else? Yeah, okay. So with the buyer, I'm much more loosey-goosey about getting the BBA signed. What I will do is I always get it signed prior to doing a showing. But usually my whole brand is I want people to feel comfortable and well-informed. And so I go over the paperwork with them if they want to, and then I hand it to them and I say, before we go in showings, I'm going to send you a digital copy of all these and you'll need to sign them so we can go in showings. If you have any problems or stuff in the meantime, let me know. In my experience, almost no one actually reads the paperwork, but the people who do, it's a very good thing that you gave them time to go over it. Because if you're someone who reads every word on a contract before you sign it, which I am, and I feel like everyone should be, but then someone saying, here's the contract, take all the time you need, is a very positive experience to get from that person. And as such a person, I can tell you when I'm like, I went to a martial arts class, a free thing. Yeah. And they tried to get me to sign a 12-month contract with them. You can see that I did not. And it was because they sat me down. They're like, here, sign this. It's like, I want time to go over it. It's like, oh no, it's just standard stuff. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. Anyone who tries to discourage me from being in a contract, we are enemies from that point on. So with the 1 in 10 buyers who really want to go over the contract, giving them time and say, here, take this, I'll send you one before we go on showings, they're going to love that. And everyone else is like, cool. And then they won't read it and they'll sign it. Sellers, it's more complicated. I didn't mean to do that, but it came out kind of dramatic, right? So here's the problem I've run into with sellers. We know how to do CMAs now, right? Nope. Come on. Is it like the last Ignite class? Okay. First of all, CMA Club did happen yesterday. I just didn't announce it in any way. So I sat alone in my office and I did a CMA and I was happy with that. That's fine with me. Next week, I'm going to be on vacation. So don't try and find me next week. The following week, I probably won't be here. But then 3 weeks from now, CMA Club is back, baby. And I will announce it this time. I'll even text you because we have that text with 3 of us in it. Does anyone else want to be in that text? Okay, cool. I know I have your number. Actually, just don't leave until we've set up the new CMA Club group text.
Is this the Cavan's not sick text group?
It would be very similar, yeah. There's one that Catherine, Julie, and I had a text before doing CMA Club 2 or 3 weeks ago. Is that right? Yeah, because I was sick last week. Man, I just can't win. Because I was sick, I just didn't have COVID.
Yeah.
I think it was the flu, but honestly, this is not important to the class. It's one of the weirdest sicknesses I've ever had. Very strange. Okay, now back to actually helping you learn how to sell real estate. In my experience, when I give a seller a CMA and then I give them as much time as they need to sign the ERS, they never sign it. Because I give them the CMA and one of two things happens. And I'm telling, this is 100% of the time that I give them an advanced CMA, this has happened. Either another agent outbids me, or they go FSBO and they just list at the price I give them. Because sellers believe, not totally incorrectly, that if they just list at the right price, it'll sell. So what I've started doing, okay, what I wish I was a strong enough person to do is just do the standard Keller Williams listing appointment. You present the CMA, you get them to sign thing at the meeting. If they don't want to sell for a year, fine, bring an MLS exclusion form with you. But you lock that seller down because they think they can do it themselves. Or be an idiot like me and play fast and loose, and where I'll say, yeah, you can sign whenever you want. CMA, we're probably in like the mid 500s. Once we really get going, I'll give you a price because the market's so volatile, it changes all the time. So I'd give you a price now, but it's going to be different 2 weeks from now. So once you're ready to go, once you're ready to sign, then let's do it. And that's my listing appointment. Is that crap? Yes, that's not a good listing appointment. I keep using it because I have this incessant need to make people like me, but this is one case where I actually admire the business bros. It's like, yo, you're going to sign this contract with me today. Just do that. Do that. That's so powerful. Just do that. Because the agent behind you is going to do that. Yeah. Becca has a solid listing appointment. Has she presented her listing appointment? Oh. She's not here. If she were here, she'd probably be yelling at me over Zoom. What a nag. Becca's a much better agent than I am. So with sellers, get the ERS as soon as you reasonably can. With buyers, do you know when you legally absolutely have to have the BBA signed? When you send an offer. So if you send an offer and you do not have a signed BBA, you are violating, I don't know if it's the law or the code, I'm not sure, but you're violating something bad, don't do that. So the reason I get it signed prior to showings is I've been screwed before on that, where I've had buyers who will use me for a couple showings and then try to cut me out and try and contact the seller directly, which never works. That's easy to take care of. No, actually it worked once, but I was a new agent. I didn't know what I was doing. Or they hire another agent. And that annoys the heck out of me. And so once they sign the BBA, you got them. I was going to teach you about a weird exception. This is more like a curio. Please don't try to actually use this because it'll shred your business really fast. Do you guys know what implied agency is? It was in your real estate test. Okay, so there is the idea of implied agency, like, well, I took them on a showing, so they can't really hire another agent. Don't rely on that. Don't rely on implied agency. Don't rely on procuring cause. Best case scenario, you're in a lawsuit. That's the best case scenario. So don't rely on that. Get the BBA signed. Any other questions about pre-qual or anything? Should we jump into prospecting? Cool. Did this make sense? This part. Because this is the part you need to understand, but I suspect you all just understand. We're all fine on this, right? Okay. So now what we're going to do, are my Zoomlings, are you still here? I know you've all reviewed me before, but I just need to keep harvesting reviews. I need to get to 70, guys. KWU eval, go evaluate me. Man, my handwriting's bad. Go give me an evaluation. I am going to sit here quietly for 2 minutes, and then we're going to prospect together.